fellow nerds and crafters. Today I'm working on a sign for my brother. He has a YouTube channel where he is showing how he's working on his new land that he has. So he's building a road to where he's eventually going to build his cottage. He just recently finished building a bridge over the stream he has, and it's really fun. So one of the things, I'm not sure he knows he says it, but in every video almost he says, "Let's get to it." So what I'm planning on doing is taking these letters and this tray mold I have. I'm not 100% sure if the tray mold is actually big enough, but it's the biggest one I have. So what I plan on doing is pouring the tray in his favorite color, orange, and the letters in black. It will look a little bit Halloween-y, but his favorite color is orange, so that's what I plan to do. So the first step of this is pouring the letters, and I'm just going to do them in black by Just Resin. And I'm just going to speed through this because I have to do this a couple times. I only have one set of the letters and I need multiple E's and T's, so I'm just going to show you the first pour of the letters. So once those are cured, I'll just show you real quick what they look like. I'm having a little bit of issue with some of my Just Resin pigments. I don't know if it's because my room is not as hot as Australia usually is, kind of just always, or what the problem is. I do mix my pigments before I use them, so they should be fine, but they almost look grainy, even if I mix them and heat them up and stuff. And sometimes they drop the colors to the top, or the bottom, which is the top of the mold. So anyway, this is my first set of letters I have done, and I'm just kind of testing them on the mold, and I can see right away this is not gonna fit just flat across this tray mold that I have, so I'm gonna have to come up with something else to do, but that's what they're looking like for now. Here I am back with all of the letters done. So I'm going to pour the tray mold now and hope that I can fit the letters on in a nice way. I've got my resin here in mixed it the color Tangerine by Just Resin, and I'm just going to pour around the perimeter first so that I can try and make sure there's no bubbles, because this does not fit in my pressure pot. So I'm going to have to leave it on the table. I'm just going to take my silicone stick and go around. I actually decided that this was not good. It was too big. It was taking all the resin out of where I'd just placed it and possibly causing bubbles again, so I will go back in with a micro brush and do the same thing again. Once I have that done, I'm just going to fill up the rest of the mold with the resin, and I just have to leave it to cure. I did try to use my lighter to pop bubbles, but there was a lot of bubbles and the lighter is small, so I did spray with some alcohol over the back in the end, and I left it to cure. So here it is. There's somehow still cat glitter on here. I put a thing over this so that nothing would fall on it, but apparently that was not good enough. This mold is rather thin, so all of those, the supports on the back have managed to make their way into the finished piece. But thankfully I had been planning on pouring a layer of clear resin anyways, so that shouldn't be noticed, but if this is to be used as an actual tray, that is kind of annoying. It was also making it really difficult for me to set up my letters so I could see because there were waves within this tray. What I decided to do was just take some tape and tape all of the letters, talking too fast, all of the letters, so that I could place them where I want them to be on the tray. So I moved those around a little bit. Once I was happy with where they were sitting, I went and grabbed some of these extra little bits and bobs, is what I'm going to call them. They're old, from our junk drawer, just random pieces, so nails, screws, washers, all that kind of thing. Because along with making a road to the cottage, he's built a tent up there and all kinds of little things. He's a jack-of-all-trades kind of guy, so he's obviously using tools all the time, so I wanted to add that to this sign as well. Also, since his land is in the woods, I have some bark here as well. This is not necessarily bark from his land, but it is from a real tree, so I thought it was fine. It is off-screen currently, but I'll show you where I place everything in a minute. So these are some mushrooms that I actually picked up at his land a couple years ago, and then I had dipped them in resin so that they would, or after I dried them out, I dipped them in resin so that I could use them on different projects. So I'm going to add in some of the mushrooms, going to add in some screws and nails and bolts and things like that. So I have also added a little bit of moss on the top of this pine cone. Those weren't from his land either, but those are things that you can find at his land. Not necessarily this moss, but there's moss there and there's pine cones there, so I added that as well. It might look a little bit busy to some, but I think it's just gonna be a fun little sign that gets hung up outside or in his tent or something like that. So what I am doing is I'm just taking my hot glue gun to do a temporary glue down of all these letters so that they don't slide around the place when I am adding my clear resin coat. For the nails, I'm going to use some UV resin just because they're so small that I think that you'd be able to see the hot glue. So I'm just going to use a little bit of UV resin on those to tack them in place. And for the things on the outside, I'm going to use 5-minute epoxy, but I'm going to do that later in the video, so I'll come back to that. I just have some clear resin here, and I'm going to use this small little cup to try and avoid getting it on my letters and be able to get in between the tighter spots between the letters. Of course, being an impatient crafter, as most are, I swapped that out pretty quickly for just the big jar of resin. I'm taking my micro brush here and just trying to pull out any bubbles that might be underneath or around any of these pieces. I'm not necessarily trying to cover them up fully, I'm just trying to get a layer of clear resin so that the letters and everything is held in there. So this is when it has been cured and everything is nicely stuck in place. I did get a few bubbles around the letters, but it's fine. So now that I know everything is nicely stuck down, I'm going to take my 5-minute epoxy and mix a little bit up at a time and glue on the pieces of bark and that little mushroom on the side that I put there and the moss pieces and the pine cone. And I didn't do it in this video, but I did later go over the moss, the pine cone, the bark, and I went over it all with a spray coat sealer, and then I decided that still wasn't enough. I wasn't happy with the hold on it, and if it rains and stuff like that, if this is put outside, I just wanted to give it a little bit more longevity, so I coated that in some UV resin as well. So thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment. I'll leave my brother's YouTube channel in my description as well if that's something that you would enjoy watching. Here is the finished photos, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!
Laughs when they come alive. She'll craft up a quest for us and pull me in for the ride. She tries the doors,
she tries the dome,
she pushes close,
then lets it go.
roll a double, rewind to the start. Roll a double, nerdy chaos, big heart. Every pore's an adventure with you. Every night feels brand new. Roll a double, rewind to the start. She says, hold still, don't blink, with yarn and resin beams, then turns a plain old Tuesday into a side quest dream.
She'll win at every challenge, or laugh and try again. Got rules in one hand, mischief in the other.
And I'm right
start.